Hi, here we go. We are going to be doing lesson 10, day 2, and we're going to now be looking at pictographs. How do you use pictographs to show data? All right, but we have this first problem that we're going to do that's a review of what we did yesterday. Use the tally chart to solve the problem. Draw or write to show what you did. And we're looking for how many more children, how many more children, and the question that you need to answer is this question down here that's written in blue. It says, Mr. Martin's class made a tally chart. How many more children in his class chose sports than chose reading as their favorite hobby? So you are going to be answering the question that is written in blue at the bottom of your page. Then you're going to come over to the top of the next page with your model and draw. Here is your learning page. A picture graph uses pictures to show data. This is the number of soccer games, and the title tells you what the graph is going to be about. And the key, which is right here, the key tells how many pictures or how many each picture stands for. In this case, each soccer ball stands for one game. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 games and 3 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. That's what you're going to need to know as you go through now and answer the questions on studying this picture graph and then answering the questions that are down below. Remember, you need to look at the key so that you know what each one of those smiley faces stand for. And I'd also pay attention to the fact that we're talking about our favorite snack. So you are going to use the picture graph to help answer these questions. Now, if you'll remember, I always transfer the pictures into real numbers, just like we did with the tallies, so that it's easy for me and I don't have to go back and keep counting. And I would expect that you would do the same thing. Okay, then we're coming over to using this picture graph, and make sure you pay attention to the key down at the bottom, that each one of those pencils stands for one pencil. And then you need to answer question 3, 4, and 5. And then you're going to be reading about Christy, who has 7 pencils. Now, she's not listed up here, but you're going to write 2 sentences to describe the number of how her number of pencils compares to the data in the graph. So it would be like adding Christy to this graph. You don't really have enough room to do it. She had 7 pencils, and you're going to write 2 sentences about how to describe how Christy's pencils compare to the other friend's pencils using the data from up there. Okay, then you're going to move on to the next page, which is favorite balloon color. Again, that's what this particular data picture graph is all about. The key tells you that each one of those balloons stands for a colored balloon. And you know what to do there. And then the question is a little bit tricky. Which 3 colors were chosen by a total of 13 children? And I think you're probably going to have to do a little bit of guess and check, because it took me a few times before I actually got the correct answer for this one. I had to do some guessing and checking. On number 8, you're going to use these number tiles to complete the sentence about the picture graph. Remember that the key stands for one pet. So every time you see a triangle, it stands for one pet. We want to know how many pets Scott has. One of these 6 numbers will be the correct answer. Andrea has blank fewer pets than Scott. One of these numbers will be the correct answer. You're going to need to set up an equation for that one. Maddie and Scott have how many more pets than Andre? Again, an equation. Well, that's going to be a 2-step problem on that one. Then you're coming over to the exit ticket. The exit ticket will be the same as yesterday, where you have questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as the first part of your exit ticket. And then you will have, question 1 over on the next page, which will be a part of your exit ticket. And then the last four, 1, 2, 3 problems are going to be a review. These 3 problems, problem number 2, problem 3, and problem 4, I will be going over with you those problems and helping you with those answers. But the other part you're going to need to do and send those to your teacher. Okay? So you're going to go ahead and pause the video. Okay, are you back? Here we go. So, crafts was 6, reading was 4, music was 5, and sports was 7. You had to answer the question down below, which was, how many more kids chose sports than reading? 7 chose sports, 4 chose reading. 7 minus 4 is 3, so there would be 3 more children who chose sports than reading. Okay, coming over to the second part of this, down on your favorite snacks, there were 8 kids that chose pretzels, 7 kids that chose grapes, there were 3 that chose popcorn, and 6 that chose apples. The fewest number of children preferred popcorn, and how many more children chose pretzels than apples? Apples was 6, pretzels was 8. 8 minus 6 gives you 2. Okay, moving right along. Alina had 7 pencils. Kiana had 5 pencils. Dante had 4 pencils, and Brad had 8 pencils. How many pencils do Alana and Brad have together? And Elena had 3 and Brad had 8. If I add 3 and 8 together, I get 11. How many more pencils did Kiara have than Alana? Kiara had 5. Alana had 3. 5 take away 3 is 2. So Kiana had 2 more pencils than Elena. And Mr. Green had the same number of pencils as 4 of the children. How many as the 4 children? So you needed to add these 4 numbers together any way that you decided to do it, and you should have come up with 20 pencils. And there's a lot of different ways you could have added that. Christy has 7 pencils. Remember, you're comparing that to the data up above, and then you had to write 2 sentences to describe how her number of pencils compares to everyone else. My first sentence was, this was my sentence number 1, Christy has more pencils than Elena. And I also did question number 2 to compare those. Christy has 4 more pencils than Elena, and I set that up with Christy had 7, take away the 3 that Elena had, gave me 4. So Christy has 4 more pencils than Elena. I can also come up here, oops, no I can't because Christy's not on that chart. All right, so let's take a look at what you're doing next. So the next part, you're looking at favorite balloon colors. All right, so there was 4 green, there was 5 blue, there was 7 red, and 4 purple. Knowing that each balloon counted for 1 child who counted. Which 3 colors were chosen by a total of 13 children? Well, I could see that green plus blue plus purple would give me 13. Green had 4, blue had 5, and purple had 4. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 4 more gave me 13. So the only one I didn't use was red. Okay, now let's take a look at our next little bit down here at the bottom. Scott had 3 pets. Andre had 2 fewer pets than Scott. Maddie and Scott had 4 more pets than Andre. So now you need to get ready to do your exit ticket. So here comes your exit ticket. You need to do the exit ticket by yourself and send that to your teacher, but we are going to go over plus this piece also for your exit ticket. The time on the clock is let's see, the time on the clock is, hang on just for one little tiny second. I'm just going to do this. This will make this a little bit easier here, at least for me. And I am going to just cover up this answer so that you can't see the answer to that one, because that's part of your exit ticket. And the time on the clock is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 minutes past, I hope you said the hour of 2 o'clock, because this has not been the 3 o'clock hour yet. If you said 3:55, oops, you did not pay attention to the fact that it's 55 minutes past the hour with still 5 minutes to go before it will be the 3 o'clock hour. Counting the centimeter cubes, each one of those is a centimeter long. 1, 2, 3 centimeters. Even though we didn't spend a lot of time talking about that, I think you could probably just count that one. And the total value of this group of coins, a quarter is 25, a quarter is 25, a nickel is 5, and a penny is 1. 5 going up 25 puts me at 50. Going up 5 puts me at 55. Going up 1 more puts me at 56. So 56 cents or 56 cents. And your job, once we get finished with that now, is to make sure that your teacher gets your exit ticket for today. My goodness, wasn't that a short lesson? I hope that you enjoyed that, because I know I had fun doing it. And I will see you again tomorrow.